wake up, feel the light, a brand new day in sight. Conversations that uplift, setting your dreams alight. Mindset shifts, empowering quotes, fueling your fire, keeping you afloat. Stay inspired daily, let your spirit soar. Our love language is value, giving you more. Join the conversation, every word counts. Motivation matters in large amounts. Stay inspired daily, let your spirit soar. Our love language is value, giving you more. Join the conversation, every word counts. Motivation matters in large amounts. Uplifting chats, start your day, guiding you gently, showing the way. Empowering words, a soothing balm. In our platform, find your calm. Mindset shift, embrace the change. Stay inspired, let your goals arrange. Daily motivation, your daily lift. You got this, embrace the gift. Hashtag shift, embrace the change. Stay inspired, let your goals arrange. That's the daily motivation, your daily lift. You got this, embrace the gift. Stay inspired daily, let your spirit soar. Our love language is value, giving you more. Join the conversation, every word counts. Motivation matters in large amounts.
Welcome each and everyone. Welcome to the Conversation Motivational Date Night with yours truly, SGGR, Sion Gregory Gomes Rodney. Welcome. Tonight this program is designed with you in mind. I have with me tonight what the first rodeo is no other than Timmy King. Tonight, she's making her debut to our tribe, our community, and our village of this august platform, the Conversation Motivational platform, which encapsulates many facets of the Conversation Motivational Hour, the Conversation Motivational Date Night, the Conversation Zero to Hero TV family, the Conversation Small Business Community, the Conversation Merchandise Craving, the Conversation Global Network Family, the Conversation Together We'll Rise Ministry, and the Conversation Yahweh Ministry. With that being said, tonight, our love language is value. Our sweet spot is value. Our mantra is value. And tonight we believe in the reciprocal nature of value. I want to let you know our sweet spot is value. We value you, you value us, and together we value each other. With that being said, happy birth month to all those who celebrate a birthday. Happy anniversary to all those who celebrate an anniversary. Congratulations to those who purchase a new home, you purchase a new car, bring a bundle of joy into this world. Congratulations to you. Congratulations to you who passed that examination about to cross the aisle, collect your certificate of accomplishment, where they normally said the height that great man met, the height that great man attained didn't come by sudden flight, but while my companion slept, I kept toiling through the night. So congratulations to you, and sympathy and empathy go out to those who was lost a loved one in this time of bereavement. I want to let you know that Yahweh HaMashiach, the promised Messiah, going to meet you right where you are, comfort you at the time of your need and your difficulty. Those right now at the 3-yard nurse, those right now in the ICU, emergency room, the intensive care unit, those who are preparing to go to the OR, the operation theater, and right now those in the nursing home and the LLC long-term care community, wherever you are right now, we want to let you know we value you. Whether in the penthouse under the bridge, have money in the bank, no money in the bank, we value. Whether Whether you're happy or sad, we value. Whether you married or divorced, we value. We value tonight. That is our mantra, our love language, and our sweet spot. With that being said, tonight, we have graced in us once again for the first time. And I always say that the first time, 5 minutes, you are a stranger. The first 5 minutes, you are a visitor. The first 5 minutes, you are a keynote speaker. But after 5 minutes, you are family. So here, Tammy King, welcome to the tribe, the community, and the village of this august body, the conversation platform, which those our tribe, community, and village will welcome you along as we go along with the program tonight. With that being said, the privilege is mine to hand over to you, no other than Miss Tammy King.
Good evening, everyone. Thank you, Dr. Sion, for that brief introduction. As you mentioned, I'm Tammy King. Just a little bit about myself. I have a undergrad or a bachelor's degree in psychology, and I have a master's in management. I'm originally hailing from Guyana, but I've been living in the U.S. for over 30-something years. And I've been in, should I say, my my now citier place of living. I'll just say Atlanta, Georgia, which is where I met Pastor Sion. So with that said, let's get the conversation going.
And there we says, welcome and good night to Oliver Jones says, blessed Sunday to Pastor Sion Rodney and Apostle Prasad. But tonight, Apostle JD Prasad is off because she has some things that she has to take care of. And really and truly is that she have a pampered night with the youth pastor of A Conversation Together We'll Rise. So I give the leverage and the go ahead to our youth pastor who sat back and she saw the apostles working hard. And tonight she said she wanted to pamper the apostle, and that's Apostle JD Prasad. So she's off tonight, and filling the shoes is no other than Miss Tammy King. And you understand she is Guyanese who migrated many moons and many years ago. And now she's living in the great state where God dwells and God live, a hot lantern because he's a consuming fire. And tonight we're gonna bring it home tonight, myself and Miss Tammy King. And we have Oliver Jones say bless good night to Pastor Sion Rodney, Apostle JD Prasad. Akisha Lisa bless good night to everyone. Adasa Gonsalves says good night everyone. Oliver Jones say welcome Tammy King. They already welcome you in conversation. Let's show Tammy King some love. Let me show her some appreciation. You know how we do it. You know how we do it. Conversationalists, you know how we do it. Welcome, Miss Dion McKay. And she said, good night, Pastor Sion and Sister Tammy. Let's show her some conversation love. The tribe, the community, and the village. What we do, we help people to find their momentum, Tammy. We help them to find their rhythm, gain their sweet spot, and we enter them into society where they can gain back what they have lost. Yes, their joy, their peace, their happiness, where they can function and tend at the optimum that no one can recognize them the time where they had this setback, the loss, or the grief. So with that being said, tonight our topic is about the power of forgiveness. The power of forgiveness. And tonight we all gonna meet each other right where you are. So you can engage us in the chat, in the comment there before we're gonna be powwowing. And therefore I have once again, beautiful Miss Tammy King. And she tell you of all of her accolades which come by form of studies. And I understand, Miss Tammy, that while my companion slept, you were born in the midnight oil. So the place that you attained didn't come easy, but you truly get the head is no books. And now you're about to solve some problems, and you will solve some of our problems tonight. Well, helping us to understand what the studies has helped you to garner wisdom, knowledge, and experiences also. So with that being said, Miss Tammy King.
I'll try my best.
No, you got this. You be on trying. You'll be on trying because now you're family. You are family. So get your popcorn, get your popsicle, get your milk icicle, get your soda, get a bottle of water, get a glass of drink, whatever it is, and we just gonna sit down and we're gonna chop it up because we're dealing with tonight a pertinent topic and an interesting topic that is for each and every one of us, and we all have some form of experiences when it comes to forgiveness. And tonight we're gonna delve into it. Forgiveness forgiveness is an umbrella topic. It is so broad, but it's encapsulate many things. And I have somebody who is clinically studied, tested, licensed, and proven. And in that space, day in, day out, for exception, sometimes many Sundays, because she's a congregant of our church, also Sanctuary of His Present Kingdom Ministry, where God dwell and love live. So she's a proud congregant. So she is my sister in the Lord. All right. With that being said, this time you're gonna hand over to you, and then you're gonna just tell us what from the standpoint about forgiveness.
Okay, well, thank you once again. Um, I'll do my best to keep the conversation going and keep it as positive and honest as I can. As you mentioned, forgiveness is under a wide umbrella. Um, it's not an easy thing. It's something that I've been working on, and I came a long way with forgiveness. Um, when I was younger, forgiveness was very hard for me to do because when someone hurt you, you tend to hold on to things. But I've truly come a long way, especially in my spirituality and learning about, the forgiveness of God. Um, Now, moving forward, when I find myself in a situation of people doing or saying things to me, I turn to forgiveness instead of just holding on. Because when you hold on to things, it's not you just holding on to something, it's something that also mess with your physical, believe it or not. Um, it mess with your heart. There's depression that we can talk about because when you hold on to things and don't let it out, it festers and it can turn into so many different things. As well as I mentioned, you can have heart problems from that, high blood pressure, all those things. Like, forgiveness is under this, like, it's a wide umbrella. Um, but if we want to keep it simple, and talk about me and my journey with forgiveness, I've always been an easygoing person. But like I said, with forgiveness, it was difficult. But now, understanding and doing psychology to really understand the brain, the mind, and how people operate, their thoughts, their moods, it really taught me a lot on forgiveness. Because by me understanding not just myself, but others, it helped me to grow. So, what it is, a lot of times, it's like when people do something to you or say something about you, it's coming from a place of hurt for them too. So, in doing my psychology studies, that taught me that you have to take a step back and really understand why that person is trying to hurt you. Where is that coming from? You know? And if we want to get really biblical about it, I got a few scriptures that I jotted down. I'm not going to read everything out, but the first thing is that I'm sure we all talk about, not even just as Christians, but even, the regular person or the lay person, as we say in layman terms. you know I've heard a lot of people use this, where it is in Matthew 18:21-22, where it says, Jesus answered, and I tell you, not seven times, but 70 times seven. That means you got to keep forgiving people over and over again, because that's what he has done for us. So who am I to sit there and say that I can't forgive someone? You know? So I always look to that to carry me through. So now, for me personally, forgiveness really does come easy for me, to the point where, sometimes my friends or even family members, they're like, how can you forgive so easily? because it comes easy to me. It's like second nature to me now. And that's honestly speaking, it's like I can't hold a grudge. I'll be upset at something that you might say or do, but I can't hold a grudge. I forgive very easily because if I don't do that, then am I better than you in any way? No, I'm
And
not.
I think what caused you at that juncture, Sister Tammy, because many people may not understand why forgiveness becomes so easy for you.
Mhm.
Because many people will say forgiveness is a very hard thing. Rightfully so, because you didn't start out with forgiveness being easy. And
Absolutely.
forgiveness come from a place of your personality. Welcome, Minister Cleveland, Harley Quinn, and you say good night, folks. Because of your personality traits, that tells the level of things that will come your way. And because you are more introvert, don't get carried away because she's talking tonight that you think she is an extrovert. Sister Tammy is more the smiler introvert. She's not out there like me. I'm extrovert. All right. But because of your level of your personality, that tell you the level sometimes of your challenges. More so when you are introvert, most people take you for granted. And
Mhm.
because of that, your level of hurt, your level of betrayal, your level of schism will be greater than somebody who is an extrovert, who can push back, who can stand their ground, and who can able to let their voice be echoed across the hall, who can able to stand and erect their chest and that kind of posture. So the
Mhm.
experiences that they need to method out forgiveness is lesser than someone who of an introvert and they take everything inwardly and they bottle their problems, they bottle the advantage, they bottle everything. So what they're doing every morning, they're waking up and carrying around people around with them, not the person as to say in the person, but the acts of the person in them, the
Yeah.
deeds of the person. So they're kind of around that because they didn't vent, they didn't try to have an hearing. And that's why they said when someone is quiet, they always have so much that they're going around with in a mild way. When somebody can stand and they vicious and less people come at them. Sometimes what will happen? They have to, Sister Tammy, they have to think before they talk to you because they know you're
Yes.
going to talk back. They got to watch their sentence. They got to think about this person can hurt me if I said this. But when a person is quiet, they just don't care.
Yes.
And because of your
Absolutely.
personality being an introvert and so much be done to you, it's easier now because you've been through so much with the forgiveness experience of what I've done to you. So now forgiveness become more easier for you to do because you went through
Absolutely.
so much betrayal at school, at college, forgiveness, family member, friends, and all the likes and so on, different set of relationship, church, in church, out church, social activities, social environment, because people sometimes takes you for granted and so forth and so on. They may say things that they don't know that the word is not appropriate to say to you, but because they
Mhm.
know oh, she wouldn't say anything, so they say they care to take into account your feelings and your emotion, and they may not know how intelligent you are, but because you're quiet, they even walk over and look over your intelligence. So all that you had to battle going through life. So when Sister Tammy said tonight that forgiveness now is easy, become a second nature, is different than always an extrovert for me. But Sister Tammy, it's very
Yeah.
hard the most of my life to deal with forgiveness because even though I'm extrovert, I think the person should think twice before coming to say what they said to me, to do
Yeah.
what they do to me, and because I carry it the more time battling with it. But
Yes.
forgiveness is never for me. Forgiveness was never for you, and because of that you can able to recognize the persons what they did to you, they need your forgiveness than you need it. So when you give them the forgiveness, you release yourself. And I'm glad what you say, who are clinically trained and who are in the health sector. And I want tonight you just help us to understand now, if you doesn't take that posture of forgive, how it can affect your health, and if the person do not receive your forgiveness, how it can affect them also, because forgiveness is a very important.
It's very, very important. And if we're going to talk about health, like I touch on a little bit, um, I work in the, well, I worked in the breast department. Now I'm more widespread with radiology and everything like that. And forgiveness is very important because, as I mentioned briefly earlier, it can tell on your body physically. It can cause high blood pressure, believe it or not, because it can cause stress. Because when you're holding on to things and you're stressing about it because you don't know how to express yourself, that can be a problem. You have to know how to express yourself to someone when they're trying to come at you in a way that's not pleasing, right? So you have to be really careful with where you are with forgiveness. Like you said, I'm an introvert. Um, and I've been dealing with, um, oh God, this is so wide now that I'm talking. It's just so wide with forgiveness because if I go back to high school, if I go back to junior high, I was bullied from then into high school, and I didn't know how to express myself. So I held on to a lot. Um, there were times when I didn't even want to go to school because the bullying was so bad. And it got to a point where I was like, oh my gosh, I wish something would happen to these people. You know, in junior high, it was boys. In high school, it was girls, you know. So it's like, I just wish something can happen to them because I didn't understand forgiveness at that point, that they needed forgiven because there was something going on in their lives, but that they weren't touching on, that they had to turn around and bully another person. So even at that age, it, like you said, I couldn't express myself. You know, I would feel sick a lot of times, not knowing, okay, why am I feeling this way? Um, the funny thing is, I'm going to touch on something else. Acid reflux is something that I deal with, right? Do you know stress can bring that on? For all the years going back to my school days, with the stress of me being bullied, that was a contributor to my acid reflux, and I didn't know that. So when I would have these attacks and go to the doctor, they would be like, "Oh, she's fine. She just need to work out. She just need to exercise." I wasn't a fat child. As you can see, I have the chubby cheeks and everything, but I wasn't fat. But that's what the doctors went to because they didn't know any different. Fast forward to my older age now, or my older self, I should say, um, I went to see a specialist, and that's who confirmed exactly what I had, which was the acid reflux. And he didn't even break it down to me. I did my own research and found out that that's a contributor to it, stress and not be able to express yourself when you're dealing with something like bullying, you
Sister
know?
Tammy, you just teach me something just now.
Mm-hmm.
Forget about the handles, the hats I wear, and the papers on the wall. Forget about that. You just teach me something there just now.
Okay.
And what you just said is that from the bullying, you said to yourself why something can happen to them.
Mm-hmm.
I want you to say that to me for 1 second and let the audience hear that from you, and then I'm going to let you understand what I learned from you tonight. Say it one more time for me.
Okay. I just wish that something would happen to them so I wouldn't have to deal with them anymore with
And
that
that is
bullying.
why many of us still suffering. And Sister Tammy, from the abundance of my heart, if we close the program right now, you did something that will last my life, lexicon for the rest of my life, what you just said to me there. And that's why we always have to open ourselves for the learning curve. You can never say you fully learn, you know. You can never say you fully learn. Welcome, Oliver Jones, say amen. And also Michelle Alexander is watching. All right. And I learned that what you just said. And because of that, forgiveness is very much hard for many people because they can only ask for forgiveness, the person who caused you, until something bad happened to them.
Yes.
And then sometimes some people can only go and tell them I forgive them because they feel satisfied until something happened to the person who did them wrong. I never learned that in a classroom. I learned this tonight from you. And that is so spot on. That is so spot on. That is spot on. Thanks. Welcome, Miss Duncan, tonight for joining us. I don't want to spoil your first name. That's why I go with your last name. But Miss Duncan, let's welcome her tonight since she's watching. And we're dealing with tonight the topic of power forgiveness. And that's why some people that can only forgive when something bad happened to them. And then the person who can recompense the forgiveness until they satisfy that something happened to you. So the forgiveness come only from a place of satisfaction, you know. And that takes me back, Sister Tammy, is that when COVID just started, there is a young woman that we were in business together in another country, and some money was taken from me in the business deal, and I take the posture that I'm gonna write the deal off. I'm going to write the deal off because they blocked me, stop taking my call, and all these things start happening. I can't, you understand, the time for the payment.
Yeah.
But when COVID just started, 3 o'clock in the morning, like, who called my phone at 3 o'clock? But my phone always at my bed and always on. So I turned to answer the phone. I'm like, hello, I didn't watch the name. Is that, can you please go to Western Union tomorrow? I'm sending half of your money for you. I have COVID. So because of that fear of people dying like flies, this person feel that at least they give me half of my money and then I can reach out to forgive the way how they did me.
Yeah.
So sometimes, so you just teach me something. So tonight in the audience, if you're struggling with forgiveness and you just waiting until that person have an accident, or you wait until that person takes sick in the hospital, or you wait until that person fire from the job, or that person have a miscarriage of a child, or you wait until that person have a divorce, or you wait until that person visa being revoked, or you wait until that person no longer get demoted in church, and then you're gonna say, oh, I forgive you for what you do for me after all, I forgive you, but you feel a place of oh my God, satisfaction of because that happened to you, think God must be taking care of my deeds. Let me go and tell Sister Tammy I'm sorry. Let me go and tell Pastor Sian I'm sorry. Tonight, let's understand. Sister Tammy, I want to thank you for that mic drop tonight. I have never seen it from that angle because we're humanistical people and sometimes we wear our emotion for and against on our sleeve. And before I hand over to you, let's see what's going on in the comment section. Minister Cleveland, Ali Quinn, DJ Quinn, Servant Sound, Mature Mixer saying, unforgiveness, one of the things God hates. Certainly true. And over to you, Sister Tammy King tonight.
So it's the funny thing is, I think that I started to practice unforgiveness without even realize that I was doing that. Because right before I left Guyana to come here to live, the same persons that were, bullying me started talking to me just out of the blue. Until this day, I don't know why a couple of them chose to speak to me to the point where we were even like walking to and from school together. And at that point, I had a best girlfriend at the time, and she couldn't understand how I can talk to them so easily without any consequences. But at that age, you don't understand certain things. And when it's happening, it's like I'm just happy because now I'm not going to be bullied anymore. But now looking back, that was me being able to forgive them so that I can move forward with them. But I didn't realize that's what I was doing, you know. So it's a lot of things that you do sometimes and don't even realize that you're doing it. And like you just said, don't wait until something happens to someone to seek redemption. You got to do it now, because again, who am I not to forgive someone that did me wrong? I don't care what it is anymore that you do to me, because I want to see heaven. I want to see my Father's face. I don't want to live with unforgiveness. I don't want to live with sickness because I'm not able to forgive. I want to be able to forgive anyone. And I've been doing that. The obstacles and the battles are still there, where things are being done, things are being said, even not even just from strangers out there. You get that from family members too, you know. But I have to be able to forgive, keep forgiving, I should say. It's not something that you stop doing and then you pick it up again. You have to consistently keep doing that, where you have to, you know, keep forgiving people. I have two sons, and I raise them to forgive all the time, every time. And my eldest, he's 24, and he's a little tougher than my younger son, because he always said to me, but this person is X, Y, and Z, and I'm having a hard time forgiving them. I'm like, you have to forgive them, though. He said, why? I said, because do you want to see God's face? How many times have He forgiven you? How many wrongs have you done and continue to do? You know? So you have to learn to forgive. Forgiveness really is not for them, it's for you. It's for you, not just your sanity, your health, but for your wealth too. If you want to be able to exceed and excel in life, you have to be able to forgive and move forward. Because even when he wants to be a businessman, just like you, Pastor Sion, you have to be able to forgive, because when you go out there, you're going to meet with all sorts and all kinds of people that's probably going to try to rob you blind. They're going to come with everything in the book, because everybody's trying to get over the next person. You got to be able to forgive. Perfect example, he has a friend. They came up in the track club together when they were like yay high, 10, 11 years old, friends from so long. And they decided they're going to do what they call a box. They're going to put money together. He's going to send three of them. They're going to send money to this friend. He's going to keep the money. So, one day he's asking him, how is it going? Money okay or everything? He told him, man, lost my job or whatever. I had to use the money. My son is upset, because his thing is, I work hard for my money and you took it, and it's supposed to be sitting in a box, and you took it and you didn't say anything. So I said to him, I said, are you going to let a lifelong friendship from how yay high go because you can't forgive him because he took the money? I said, that happens sometimes to people. It's not right. He should have consulted you guys, but he didn't do that. But you don't know what position he was in. But what I was trying to teach him is that you have to forgive him, because you don't want to lose friendships over that. And you don't want to find yourself in a position where somebody would not forgive you. How would you feel? So it took him a minute and he digested it, and he was like, man, I can't deal with him right now. He's like, I don't want to see him. I don't want to talk to him. I said, but you have to talk to him, because you got to let him know where he went wrong, because you don't
And
want him to
I
repeat
love
that.
what you said, Sister Tammy.
Mhm.
But before we go there, Lynesta Williams, welcome tonight. Welcome, Lynesta Williams. And welcome also Martin McGiddings Jr. But there is in the chat, because people are engaging, and you could engage us in the chat, put your thoughts and be a part of the convo tonight. That's what we do. We are family. We in your fireplace. We on your veranda. We in your jacuzzi. We in your living room. We in your bathroom. We in your shower. Just don't throw your phone in the water. We in your break, wherever you are. We engage each other, but also engaging with us tonight. Dion McKay says, I believe you don't apologize to be forgiven. You apologize to repent. Oh boy, boy.
Ooh.
Forgiveness is a gift given from the other person. Wow.
Mhm. That's
Wow.
loaded.
Wow. But Sister Tammy, I love the part, and I don't want us to glide over the part when you said, and then we'll come to the mentorship part. And I love how you start mentoring your son about the importance of forgiveness. But the part when you went to the doctor does take your acid reflux lightly until you understand that even though it's a clinical diagnosis, family, I want you to hear this tonight. That's why we have the professional, and she's bringing her own experience, uncandid and unfiltered and as raw as it can be, as a woman of guts, because some people would have said my friend and without throwing themselves out there. But I want to thank you to be so candid with your experience, and thank you again. But when you said it is a clinical diagnosis, that acid reflux is a clinical diagnosis, there's also treatment for it, but then you recognize in chronicling it is that unforgiveness.
Mhm.
Tonight, what you are going through, you may having heart rhythm out of whack. You may having what we call migraine headache. You may be having like you feel like things is crawling on your face. It's like your nerves are out of whack. It's because somebody you have renting living in your head rent free, because you think you forgive them, but you ain't forgive them, because Dion is saying you can apologize and call it forgiveness, but it's not forgiveness. I forgive you casually, but the person is still in your head rent
Yeah.
free. Or you, as you say you forgive them, you still get them in your mind. And they said they accept your forgiveness, but you see, they accept your forgiveness, but you can see they're still dealing with you shorthand. And because of that, you now going back into that trauma.
Yes. Absolutely.
You went back into that trauma. Welcome, Deacon Shawin Labasti. And you went back into that trauma. Tonight, we want you to be free. Not everything that diagnosed by a doctor, you need to chronicle your life to see if there is why you're not sleeping. You know you don't work hard, that you're physically tired. You slept 4 hours, but then you find you can't sleep the entire night. There's something that is telling on your mind, your mental health, something. And don't look at anybody else. Just take the same time you can't sleep, everything that is going on. Why your menstruation is going so long? It is not stopping. You pass your cycle period, it should end. All these things we should not take for granted. You can come to the altar, Pastor Sia will give you an oil baptism. He may give you a spit baptism, because I'm praying someone that my spit start spraying you, and so on and so forth, and still that you've left there the same way. Take some time. Who I get in my heart really? Who I really like? Who I can't stand? I can't stand up by Sia, and he too think he's all though. He too pompous. He think he's more than a bag. He too loud for me. And every time I hear voice something happen, and you think and recognize, I have to really go and give Sian a hug, because Sian is living in my mind. Also, we have engaging here, showing Labat, Deacon showing Labat, said, blessing my family, powerful words of encouragement, my sister. Then Sister Oliver Jones says, forgiveness is something coming from your heart. These people bright like LED light. Pamela Cornette, you're late for class, girl. Anyway, Pamela saying, good night, man and woman of God. Blessing. Over to you, Sister Tommy.
Yeah. Everything that they're saying there is absolutely true. It is so true. That's why I keep saying forgiveness is for you. It have to come from the heart. You can't just say you forgive someone, like you said, but they're still living rent free in your head. You know, I have so many examples on that too. Um, and if my family is gonna see this, they're probably gonna be upset with me. But um, I'm being raw and as candid as I can because this is my true self. Um, my dad and I, we're still trying to build because there's so much trauma there from different things. But I remember we were having a conversation one day, and he said that he feels so bad about or guilty about the things that he couldn't do for me, and things like that. And I said to him at that moment, I recognized what he was battling with. And I said to him, I said, I'm going to release you from that pain.
Mm.
And I said, I'm going to release you from that pain. I said, I forgive you. I don't want you to hold on to whatever you're holding on to when it comes to me. I said, I forgive you. I said, I have forgiven you a long time ago. That's why I'm able to speak to you because it's been, like I said, a lot of trauma. I said, but once and for all, I'm going to tell you that I release you from that pain. He said to me, you don't have to forgive me for anything. I said, you don't understand what I'm trying to say to you. I said, I'm not God, but I have God in me. So I am able to forgive you and release you. I am not, what I'm trying to say is that I am not holding on to anything when it comes to you. So I want you to be able to release that so you can also receive your forgiveness. And it took him a minute to take control or grasp what I was saying to him before he actually got it. But the funny thing is, I don't think he have gotten it because I am still living rent free in his head. He
Mm.
cannot get over, certain things. He still have this funny behavior towards me. But when I see him, I greet him with a smile and a hug. What I have done is set boundaries.
Mm-hmm.
Mm, I set boundaries. So I know my limits. Okay. And this is the thing, when you set boundaries, I have so much like I'm going. But when you set boundaries, not everyone is going to be happy with those boundaries. But I what I've learned is that it's okay because my journey is going to be different from yours. So I have to take control of mine. So I set boundaries where now I'm going to greet you, I'm going to be respectful. I love you, but I know how far to go.
Mm.
But I love my dad. If today or tomorrow something happened, I'm there. There's people in my life though that does not understand how I can keep forgiving him all the time. Like I said, it's easy. It didn't come this easy for me. It really didn't. It took a lot of years because, I was so hurt with so many different things, you know but it's easy now. I can do that because he keeps hurting me over and over, and I say him, but it's so many people, but for him, my dad. But I can forgive him every time. And it shocks him every time that I would come to him and give him a hug and say, how you doing? And he doesn't understand that, but he reads the Bible every day. How can you read the Bible every day and don't understand what forgiveness is, and you can't even do it?
I think, Sister Tammy, and Deacon Shawn Labasti said, powerful. Oliver Jones said, forgiveness also is a mind binding spirit. Oh God, she got the spiritual ramification. These people bright like LED bulb, man.
Loaded.
Labasti said, true. I think what's the problem? And I think I am a victim sometimes of it too, and we all are at different juncture. Because I learned a lot from you tonight, willing or not, because you are more trained into that part than I do. Even though we end up at the same juncture, but we're training the different. I'm more coming from a chaplain standpoint, right? But I think what happened, Sister Tammy, the person who should receive that forgiveness. Welcome, Audrey George Claxton. Welcome. You're late, girl. You're late. Welcome, Pamela Johnson. I know I missed somebody. Welcome, Pamela Johnson, my cheerleader. Yeah. With that being said, though, I think what's the problem on the receiving end, Sister Tammy? And you could tell me from a training experience, even from the hospital and your own life with your dad. I think some people, they are looking for a specific word. And they're looking for a specific gesture, and they want to be the judge of the sincerity, which no one who spend their lifetime with you can judge your sincerity. We go to the same church, right? I sit on the front seat, you sit on where? The second to last seat at the back or something, you are the middle. So even though we go to Sanctuary of His Presence Kingdom Ministry, you can be there 5 years. And hypothetically, because we are congregant, we are sister brother in the Lord, I think I should be able to judge if something do go wrong. I should judge though she is sincere or not. But I don't share wake up, sleep, going to bed with you. I don't share that space 24 hours weekly with you. But because in my mind, I trying to judge the sincerity and I looking for certain, so therefore your forgiveness comes from a genuine place. But because I am thinking she is sincere, I thinking, you see how she's smiling, think how she the gesture. So therefore what I still held you at that high bar. So you can do all you do, say you forgive me. But I am receiving it because I ain't think you forgive me. I hear what you're saying. But I believe that you forgive me. So when you come because of forgiveness, I'm still doing what I want to do to you. Because I feel that I'm this judge, jury, and executioner. I'm being the judge, jury, and executioner. I don't think you are sincere. So this is what Jesus did quickly to clear this. I said a lot of things that is so confusing. So this is what Jesus tell him. All right, you're bringing an accusation. Let me see how sincere this thing gonna be. Who without sin cast the first stone.
There you go.
You see? So inside, Jesus gonna see who is sincere, that they had the right privilege to bring this woman. They're gonna stand the test of time. So inside, Jesus had to judge their sincerity. He allowed them to judge by their own conscience. So your dad is hearing you though you read the Bible, but he's judging the sincerity. Whatever that sincerity means to him, he's hearing you. He's reading it. And tonight, family, I want us to think how we can free ourselves. Free, let your blood clot, start forming that fibrinogen, that sore, that ulcer can dry, that you can have a good sleep, that you can come off of acid reflux, that you can no longer suffer from hypertension, that all these things are locked up in unforgiveness. Let's go to the comment section and over to you. I am Shawn Labasti said, Deacon says, the word of God said that the truth will set you free. Forgiveness is important. It's not you will never get your breakthrough. You will never get your breakthrough. Then Pamela Corlett said, interesting topic. You see, we want to free ourselves. And sometimes, and before I hand over to you, let me deal with the mentorship, as I love how you're mentoring your son. Some of the things that we do through life is what was passed down to us. And it's hard for some of us to free ourselves. Because like when two parents who is our adult with a child get problems and so on, and you mother now come and say, you see, she didn't really say what she said, and you grew up now judging this thing because you hear your mother saying, my neighbor is sincere, you quarrel over who foul in, who yard. And the person said, maybe man, I will fast back, man. I don't, but it's you foul me egg, I don't fry the egg, boil the egg, you get your foul, let move on. And then you mother come upstairs and say, you see what she does to me? She is sincere, you see what she hand and she kimbo, you see she roll her head, you see she shake herself, she is sincere. So we grew up now with that thing our mind to judge. So when something happened to us, the person sincere, but what sincerity mean? We mean something the person wants to smile. They must get a face like they're pressing starch. And all of this, and we want to judge. So now glad that you're mentoring your son. And as we are mentoring people, help them do not take the posture to judge the sincerity of the forgiveness.
Yes.
Because you don't know that person.
Yeah.
Absolutely. So in the comment section, then on over to you, Sister Tammy King. Oliver Jones says, reading the Bible and understanding the Bible is two different things. Well, that's
Ooh.
Ooh, these people tonight, they come for us.
Absolutely.
Sister Tammy, over to you tonight.
No, I like that because I said the same thing about, my dad and countless other people that say they read the Bible. But do you really understand? Because I don't think we're reading from the same Bible. Because if you having such a tough time forgiving, then that's a problem. One of the things that I think too, it just came to me actually that I don't think my father can forgive himself. Because he's having a hard time accepting my forgiveness. Because there's so much that he too is battling, and men don't like to talk about what's bothering them. So I think there's a lot that he's battling too, and he's having a hard time forgiving himself, so it's hard for him to accept mine. One of the things my mom said to me, she said, you say things and then you walk away and you come back like nothing ever happened. Because when I say something, I leave it right there. I don't let it fester in my mind, in my heart. These are things that I'm learning because, as I mentioned, on the clinical side, I realized that it can affect your body. It can affect your physical. When you hold on to things, you have to learn to let them go. And when I say I forgive you, I really do. If I don't forgive you, I'm not going to say it. But when I say it, I really do. This is coming from the heart. So again, it comes easy for me. It really does. It comes easy for me. And I know it doesn't come easy for a lot of people. So I understand that. The only thing I can do, like my son, is keep talking to him and leading by example. And that's what I do. And sometimes he thinks I'm too easily forgiven to people. He tells me that all the time. But I'm like, why should I hold on to that? Especially if it's not going to benefit me. Why should I hold on to that? I'm not going to do that to myself. I have to keep moving. So I keep teaching him that he's a little bit of a harder nut to crack, as they say. But I'm still working on him.
I love what you say. It's hard for him to forgive himself. Oliver Jones said, pride is battling with.
Yes. Totally.
Pride is battling with. Welcome, Courtney Johnson. Welcome, Vanessa. Welcome tonight. Pride is battling with. Yes. And I think sometimes why some people don't want to be the big person in the room to reach to give that forgiveness because they don't know what the response is gonna be. They
Yes.
don't know what the response is gonna be, so they're scared of what the response is gonna be. So they're battling with that unforgiveness in themselves. The one that that do you wrong. You see, the one that know
Absolutely.
that they do you wrong. It's hard for them because they don't know what the response is gonna be, and even they try to give you a little triplet. They are fighting with themselves tonight to clear your part of your health. You can get off of migraine medication. You can get off of blood thinners. You just got to take life of being who I have to forgive.
Yeah.
And who has forgiven me, who I have to release them.
Mm-hmm.
Who I have to release them because you are doing it both side for yourself. Sister Tammy, I know you're a little older than I am. I won't ask you to tell your age, but I know you're a little older than I am, look younger than I am, all at the same time. But I know you have some people with your experience. Some people have done them wrong. They're right now in a mausoleum having AC blowing in them while they're still dead. There's some people they already went into the ground because they cannot afford mausoleum, and they have roaches and ants are eating their body. And you person who are alive are still carrying them in their head. They cannot forgive what the person has done for them. Talk to somebody tonight who you think is going through that season of their life.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yes, Sister Tammy. Over to
Yeah.
you.
Sorry about.
Uh,
Yeah. On the spiritual, not the spiritual, on the clinical part of it, don't let things fester, because there's so much damage you can be doing internally that you don't even realize that you're doing to your body. And don't, if you get a serious diagnosis about anything, get a second opinion or do your research. I stayed doing my research. When I worked in Boston, I worked under a research doctor in a temporal bone department in the hospital. And this man was one of the strongest doctors that I know. And he had so much stress, even dealing, in the hospital and stuff like that. He had so much stress. And he died at 54 years old from a heart attack. Who knows what he was harboring? And he was a doctor. So you got to talk to different people. I'm saying that to say I came from a research background. And that's how I learned to just start researching everything. It helps and it gives you peace and a peace of mind. And it would bring you to forgiveness if that's what you need to do. So,
and Courtney Johnson says, welcome, Courtney Johnson. Courtney Johnson says, I am enjoying your program. Some people feel like if I ask for forgiveness, it make me small.
no.
And that person will ascend to be bigger than me. Then you're frightened that the person will go and celebrate that you ask for forgiveness. So you're giving somebody an audience, you're giving them a platform, you're giving them a party, you're giving them to go to feel they have one up on you. So therefore, you're walking concealed. And Sister Tammy, I know now you're a little more getting out of your introvertial self now, and you're getting tiptoeing into being an extrovert. How well is that doing to you now? You find a trusted space. You're sure you find trusted people and you find trusted environment. How that has helped you along the journey, that you don't have to carry all that is welding up in your inside and so on. Help someone tonight to find trusted place, trusted person, trusted environment, that don't have to carry the the weight and the world alone, especially those who are like social worker, those who are dealing in mental health facilities, those who are dealing with stressful, like working in the OR, and those are stressful jobs. And some of them, they hear the people problem, but they don't know how to detox.
Yeah.
I'm an actor myself. Before I have to have an actor myself, I have to learn how to get out the character. You see, I act today, I forget about that from the time I get off the stage. I make sure when the song was singing Amazing Grace, how sweet the song, that's the time I
Mm,
get out of all the acting that I did. That song was therapeutic for me. I wasn't really worshiping
yes.
God. I was emptying myself. And then at the end of the song, when we sing praise God, then I was
Mm,
worshiping God. And so if actors are going through that way that they don't know how to get out the character, and it weighs them down and take them into dark places of life. Talk to some people today that they may be preachers are going through that too, suffering from meltdown. Worship
mm.
leaders are going through that. Many people, and with your research, and because you now are shifting, I didn't say you're full extrovert yet, you get ways to go, but you're shifting. How that has helped you tonight?
It feels good. Thanks to you because you have been on me to, come to this podcast and show, and you're not the only one, but you're consistent, I should say. Um, and it does feel good. I always had a fear of um, being in the forefront. I have a lot to say, but saying it in front of an audience has always been my fear, and I'm working on that. God is working on me because I'm here. When you asked me earlier today to do this, I'm like, huh? What are you talking about? I'm like, I'm not going on the World Wide Web, you know? And I'm sitting there and I'm like, you know what? I remember saying to you, okay. And you're like, no, this is serious. Like, you have to tell me you're going to be on there. And I'm like, okay, I will. And I sat there and I thought about it. I was like, you know what? I can do this. I can do this, because I do have a lot to say. We might be all over the place with the conversation, but I'm going to come back to what I need to talk about. But it's so much to say. And like we mentioned earlier, forgiveness is on there's so many things that comes under that umbrella that we can tap into, you know, but that's for another day. But I feel good. I feel safe. And that's the thing. When you feel like you're in a safe space, you're given that safe, unspoken space, you're going to want to open up more. And that did that for me this evening. So I thank you. And I thank your audience for welcoming me. I enjoyed it, and I didn't think I had it in me, but I do. I do.
Listening to you give me great joy
Mm-hmm.
because you are one of the many people that I mentor.
Mm-hmm.
And I believe you have to sit back and listen to your mentee sometimes to let you recognize, are they hearing you or are they listening to you? It's two different things. You have to judge your investment to know if it's worthwhile continuing investing. And I want to thank you tonight to rise to the occasion because you didn't had a day notice. You just had probably 20 minutes, 20, 25, somewhere there about notice, and you
Uh-huh.
rose to the occasion. And I listened to you when we were doing the trial at the back and so for the runner show. You stood the test of time, and I want to say thank you so much. And those who I'm continuing to mentee, my mentees out there, I will be calling upon you at short notice because sometimes it's not about the views, which is great. It's not about the likes, which I love. It's not about the share, what I love, but I want to sit back and see the work of my investment because time is a currency with no exchange. The time I spend with you guys, my mentors, eternity. I will not get back in my lifetime. I want to see some of my labor while I'm alive. And I've been for real. And I just want to thank you, Sister Tammy. I'm one of my team in the background, what nobody knows. I have some people in the background, they will come one by one, but nobody knows who I have at my team. They feel a conversation just by one person. You don't go as far as you dream. You go as far as your team. I don't come out smart by myself, sound bright and nice and doctoral. I don't have a doctor degree, but because of the people that I have around me, that I humble myself, run games from them, get from their studies what they study, match their clinical studies, match their professional license with math training, and then I come out to you so I can sound like I know what I'm talking about. That's why we are a community. That's why we are a tribe, and that's why we are a village. Find a safe space. And we have here, before we go tonight, Minister Cleveland, DJ Quinn, a servant song mature mixer, says the Bible presents an unforgiving heart as a serious spiritual emotion. He's a chaplain too, so that's why you write in that style. Serious spiritual, emotional, and relational hindrance, directing, linking the refusal of forgive others with a blockage. Wow. Of receiving God forgiveness. Matthew 6:14-15. It is viewed as a root of bitterness and defiles an individual and others, acting like spiritual poison. Hebrews 12:15. Deacon Shaul Abasi said, God has not given us a spirit of fear, but sound mind, powerful, all come from the mind. With that tonight, tribe, community, and village, all the conversationalists, we just want to thank you tonight for rocking with your girl Tammy King and your boy Pastor Sion Gregory Gomes Rodney. We do what we do best. Thank you for engaging. Thank you for sharing. Thank you for commenting. And I tell you, if you know who you are, you're my mentee, I can call you 5 minutes before. Please rise to the occasion. We are here. We have a job to do. We have a soul to want, a soul to be impact. And as I will close on this note, the greatest wealth of this world is not in the oil field in Guyana, not in the oil field in the Gulf of Mexico, or wherever it is, or Dubai. The wealth of the world is in the cemetery, because many people die with what they had to help someone to be on their road to journey. Let's all die empty. Let's give it all like a drink offering when there is nothing left. So when our time comes, we has done well. We will finish strong. We has impact the world. And they will certainly know that Tammy King was here and Sion Rodney was here.
Thank you.
Sister Tammy, can you stay a few minutes in the green room for me, please?
Okay.
Wake up, feel the light, a brand new day in sight. Conversations that uplift, setting your dreams alight. Mindset shifts, empowering quotes, fueling your fire, keeping you afloat. Stay inspired daily, let your spirit soar. Our love language is value, giving you more. Join the conversation, every word counts. Motivation matters in large amounts. Stay inspired daily, let your spirit soar. Our love language is value, giving you more. Join the conversation, every word counts. Motivation matters in large amounts. Uplifting chats, start your day, guiding you gently, showing the way. Empowering words, a soothing balm. In our platform, find your calm. Mindset shift, embrace the change. Stay inspired, let your goals arrange. Daily motivation, your daily lift. You got this, embrace the gift. Hashtag shift, embrace the change. Stay inspired, let your goals arrange. That's the daily motivation, your daily lift. You got this, embrace the gift. Stay inspired daily, let your spirit soar. Our love language is value, giving you more. Join the conversation, every word counts. Motivation matters,